Hi everyone, welcome. It's 3:44. We have the 3 of the Empress and the abundance of Gaia, the 44 of the 4 of Cups, grounding and integrating and mastering of love, especially receiving it. And let's go ahead first and take 3 deep breaths. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. And thank you for being here with me today. Okay. So let's roll the die first, see what's going on with the twin flames today. I was just meditating with my little girl, my inner child, and she was at the center, so not left or right, but she's right in the center, and she's a little girl, she's like 3 years old, and she gets her desk, like her preschool desk, and she turns it around, puts it right on the center line to share with the masculine. The masculine comes over as a little boy, about the same age, 3 or 4 years old, and right as he gets to the chair and pulls it out, he grows up to be like a 9 to 13-year-old, around there, and instead of sitting down, he doesn't, and he gives her that like attitude look, you know, like I'm going to show you, and he walks to the back of the right side and just leans against the wall over there, like I'll show you, right? And instead of, so for a minute there, she's not sure what to do, but instead of reacting, she just goes ahead and proceeds to do her work on her desk. She doesn't move the desk, she doesn't do anything, she doesn't react to what he's doing because he's being childish, and she just continues to do her work, but she doesn't take away the opportunity for him to come and sit down again. So he was just sitting over there being stubborn right now, and that's the energy that just came up. So let's see what the dice say. And here we have the 11, which is the Justice card, which is also Libra energy. It's also 2 parallel energies side by side. We also have the Ram here with the Aries energy. And we also have Venus. Okay, so Venus and of course Libra is in Venus, and we have Aries. So we have both sides of the axis for Libra and Aries, along with Venus, accentuating the Libra side, which we are in that energy right now. So very Libran, very seeking balance energy, along with that Aries, you know, which can be very bullheaded, wanting to dive right into something, right? And that can be for the good or the bad, right? So it can be someone diving into something good, but also pulling away for no reason, you know, and again, that childish type energy. So let's see the pictures for the reads today. I have a union read, the twin flame read in front of you, and 2 messages of the day. So here is the union. Okay, we have the 4D, 5D, and 6D, feminine left, masculine right, the bridge between them in the center, the incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies. And this is the Syrian Starseed deck. This is the read you see in front of you. It is a 7-deck read with a lot of energy. If something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. If you want something more specific to you, you can get a reading with me, a personal reading. My information is below, as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. I also have a CD out there called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames by Evelyn Stainthorpe, if you want to check it out. It's only $1 for a song. And the messages of the day. We have this one, and I was guided not to pull out the other cards today. This is just the Animal Spirit deck, although I did pull a clarifier from the Lenormand Reverie for each pile there, and you see 10 sets of 3 piles, which isn't the way it usually comes out. So this was a special message in that sense. And then here is the next message that I got, that I did use all 4 decks. So that's the Animal Spirit deck, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and then the Kipper deck. So let's get right into those messages. Okay. So this first message, and this was done this morning. They were both done today. And that was at 10:01, the first big message. Was there anything else today? The liver was coming up today. Milk thistle was coming up today. Something that actually was recommended to me several years ago. But I don't know if I ever tried taking milk thistle. It may have been in something else I was taking, but so that can be like, I don't know that much about milk thistle, but it can help detox the liver. And liver is where you hold your anger, as well as your root chakra type of joints, like your knees or hips, that kind of energy. So if you have a hurt knee or something, it may be an anger issue that you need to clear. And is it on your right or your left? Is it your feminine or your masculine? And we start out here with the Animal Spirit deck cards. 10 groups of 3 or 30 cards altogether, which is the union energy. The 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, a turn for the better. The 3 of Abundance, of the Empress, of Gaia, of the coming together. That's also sibling energy, socializing energy, the happy-go-lucky energy. And then the 30 of Source energy backing up that 3, or 30 of the 4 of Wands, which is the union energy. The underlying energy was the crocodile, or the croc. And actually the croc was the first card out in the second read as well. Beneath that was the shark, the what is this here? Oh, I couldn't read what I wrote. It says lion, but I didn't dot the I, so I couldn't tell what it was trying to say. The shark, the lion, the scorpion, and the lizard came out before the crocodile. Crocodile is the underlying energy. So the crocodile here, who cut off their nose to spite their face, perhaps reptilian energy here, regrouping after yesterday's battle. So I had done a battle group with Elizabeth April's group, which was actually, I had a lot of fun with that. So you might want to check that out if you're interested in that. It was great energy. But yeah, definitely, sending a lot of love light balls to the South Pole, which we've talked about before. Perhaps there's loan sharks here, cat people, or a Leo leader, which would be 3D energy, and a scorpion sting, or insect being, and or lizards or reptilian energy kind of there. But they were all lower vibrational energies, the lower chakra system. And then 1035, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Wounded Warrior, right? So maybe from our battle yesterday, there were some wounded warriors there who were regrouping. The first group of 3 here was the owl, the butterfly, and the elk. 1 pure and wise, 1 transforming, and 1 the owl. Oh, that it's I was writing hothead, and I wrote hot. I've been doing that a lot, where I write the same word twice instead of writing the 2 smaller words, because I write a lot. So maybe something's just hot. You might be screaming at a kid like it's hot, don't touch, that kind of thing. But this is also regarding a hothead. So choosing a path of which door to open on the journey to get through the maze, to peel back those layers to get to 0 point, the coming together, on the fool's journey to come together in joy and or complete the cycle here. And that was the first group. The second group is the panther, the hyena, and the fish, which was very low vibration. There was very little color in any of the cards, just a lot of dark. Very low vibration of reacting, which we were just talking about, and being snarky or smirking, that kind of energy that the masculine was just doing to the feminine when I was telling you what the little girl was doing. Or feeling sorry for oneself, making fun of others, and unable to stop moving as the only cleared spot has a low vibe person in it or there. So when they move around, they can't find a cleared spot. So even when there is a cleared spot, there's someone there that's got negative energy. And group 2 is also coming up with Queen of Wands joining forces with group 1 to completion. Into completion. And 24 is a completion number 2 because there's a 24th chromosome. The 24 is the omega. Then, so we have group 1 and then group 2 to join group 1. Then we have the third group, which was at 1041, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 41 of the Ace of Cups. The dragonfly, the lamb, and the star. Illusions of the mind, as 2 as 1, pulse, air masculine and water feminine, or the age of Aquarius, with targeted lamb and starfish, combining the pure and innocent with the superficial here. It is also the grouping of JC and Mary Magdalene. It's weird because the way I wrote JC, it looks like a kind of an X, which I just told you I watched Malcolm X. So he was coming up paralleling the JC energy in some of the information today as well. So JC and Mary Magdalene, 2 hearts beating as 1, and the targeted innocent star, or Malcolm X, when he was taken out. He had removed all the major errors in his way, getting his ego out of the way, just for the wife and kids then to watch him go down, like Mary Magdalene and the collective watching JC go down. The cross and the mag, which is coming up as the magnifying glass, but it's Magdalene. The cross and the magnification of the Magdalene. The 36 of the Atlas, the 44 of the Atlas again, because in my numerology book, 44 is Atlas as far as numerology, but in the Tarot, the 36 for me is the Atlas card. So we have 36 Atlas and 44 Atlas, which is also the grounding, integrating, and mastering of receiving of love, carrying the weight of the world upon your shoulders from a different perspective. So they're both Atlas, just carrying it in a different way. She revealing the truth and the details of his cross and cracking the whip with rod and staff, and those in victim mentality at 1049, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 9 of Cups, the Get Your Wish card. So Mary Magdalene anchoring in their gifts of the Hermit, going within. We have the Wounded Warrior again and the Hermit. Of the Power Lady for deliverance, of union, nest, and dreams come true, wishing for self-love, new love, and perhaps a pup from the subconscious that needs you to take the lead. The multiple faces of innocence and vulnerability and abundance of exchange between. To take the ride of your life with 2 wise birds, where one is the grounder and one is the flyer, at 1054, which is that turn for the better, and the Page of Swords, which is that message, to bring the message, the Magician and the Hanging Man, where the Magician can be Mary Magdalene and the Hanged Man obviously is Jesus, where all time collapses into unconditional love. And right there I was getting the third group is the spark of God. Because, excuse me, not the third group, the next group, the fourth group is the spark of God. In the DNA that Cryon was talking about of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that 10, 11, 12 is the Godhead group, that energy. And this fourth group was coming up as the spark of God. So under the fourth group here was the gazelle, the bat, and the firefly. Grace and ease on the Serengeti as the bat is lost in space, far from Earth, with fleeting inspiration and very masculine energy, and too much fire burns out. Time for unconditional love and a public meet, and or to grow with nature or naturally, or announce in a public display of affection a decision. Also could be time to bring plants inside in order to flower with lots of light. That might be indicating a cold front coming in. Taking a gamble to be love in a breakthrough for the lovers through to the light. Sunlight and castle of titanic proportion as 2 as 1 climb those stairs like in Titanic into the unknown labyrinth to completion. Okay, and there again, that's that energy of the spark of God, the fourth group of the chromosomes, the 10, 11, and 12. The fifth grouping here was the cosmic egg, the bear, and the unicorn. The collective awakening to the crown held in mother's love, where mother bear meets unicorn, and it's time to curl up for a long winter. Dark night for the collective, with unicorns standing guard. And then it was the way it came up, it was coming up as Kas be unicorn, and my father's nickname was Kas. But Kas can also be Christo Sophia, which I wasn't getting before, I just noticed it now. But it also can be the cause. The cause be the unicorn, but it's also Christ O Sophia be unicorn, which is one horn. And then Cosby was also coming up here. Cosby unicorn, unicorn. And then Kos be our unicorn, which is my dad's nickname. And Kos is also a Greek island. Now you might want to look up unicorn because it's very interesting. I know it has a very interesting meaning because in a chapter that I wrote, my mother used to call me unicorn all the time. So I looked it up to see, okay, so what's my mother been calling me all these years? And it's not necessarily, do I want to look it up right now? Nope, not looking it up right now. But you can look up the definition for unicorn. And one of those things is, I don't know, is that like a unicorn, like IT business type of thing? Anyway, look it up and see if there's anything that comes up for you. Cosmic Michael can also be coming up here. So Archangel Michael might be coming up to be our unicorn as the divine feminines wrapping the world in their love, as the bears awaken to their light and help from the other side. The sun will keep pulsing to wake up the bear to meet their inner unicorn, the loving lady and the loving man, and the calla lilies here with the numbers 29, 28, and 30, which is the 28, 29, 30 of the twin flames being present in the moment, in the now moment, with their gifts of union of the 30. The twin flame gift to the divine masculine twin, lilies of the field, and union of spiritual maturity and peace. Cutting out the toxins, the vehicle of the polar bear devil, which was coming up around Antarctica yesterday, pushing their agenda of Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, or a dictatorship, polarity, the savior and victim, the perpetrator and victim, and us freeing the child from enslavement in transition or by transition to the 33 of Christ consciousness, for them to be free to go home, the central sun, together at last with their true north and old bridges of the Queen of Cups, the divine feminine and their four-leaf clover. There's that four again of the fourth spark of God. The higher love of walking away and within, to be inspired by cracking codes of the Akashic records on journey of the mid-moon focus or the midpoint, the zero charge. The JC and Mary Magdalene, group 3, along with music, the note and on the staff, the support staff and the rod or note, the vertical and the horizontal pillars of growth, where X marks the spot. And we were talking about grid work yesterday too, where we're standing on our spots on the grid when we were doing battle at 11:17, which is justice and the star. X marks the spot, and in Malcolm X, the X has to do with the unknown last name. As the angry man finds peace, the cosmic egg children and rod and staff unions. And then at 11:18, which is justice and the moon, the 6th pile here is the snake, and notice we have 10 piles here, so we're going through the number sequence of 1 through 10. 1 being the masculine, 2 being the feminine, 3 being the coming together and socializing with friends, 4 being the home, 5 being the excitement of perhaps meeting someone new, vacations and fun with your friends, and then we go to the 6 of love, family, and community, and that's where we settle down and have a family. The 7 of the quiet before the storm, the 8 is the storm, the power, and the 9 is then the endings, the completion cycle, in order to go into the 1 again of the 10, which is the next cycle. So here we are at the 6th group, which is love, family, and community, the snake, moth, and the tarantula. The collective awakening from a different perspective than the group of 5, with the moth drawn to the flame at the Y in the road. The collective feeling of being drawn to the light to make decisions about their lives. anchoring in or cutting ties, the wounded warrior expanding through the tree of life or the Hierophant and the family past, to evolve spiritually to find peace in the home and union, cutting out the crap for the better, to follow two as one direction in their true north, as the loving man or divine masculine commits to working out anger issues of the man from Mars and allow himself to be vulnerable and allow his toxic side of vulnerability to come out. Seeing all the faces of the mountain in order for completion, the buck and the rock, the sword and the stone, the money and the earth. When you relax, it slides out so easily to allow your new adventure. As the magician, with your four-leaf clover and the high priestess, which is the high priestess, and the divine feminine queen of cups, twin flame, the bridges to wisdom. And also the underlying energy that came up on the other deck from this grouping was the note. So it's like a letter of passion here. The seventh group, which is the calm before the storm, the vacation, the time to reflect, the dragon, the bear, and the spider. Oh, not the bear, the beaver. I knew I'd said bear already. So the inner self working hard, doing grid work and sticking with it, taking a gamble to be love and free self by standing up for unity consciousness. And Atlas with a cross to bear, with the weight of the world, and the wounded warrior surrendering to the innocent child with multiple faces, and the mothership with a toxic vehicle of the stars. In a tower event or some kind of sudden event or explosion or eruption or epiphany, you know, the tower can be blowing your top, your mind, your cover, your whatever, right? Or this can be someone who was abducted as a child and clearing now their Akashic records. And I was getting from the cards, Dr. B. Spider, and stick to your spot on the grid. All right, this is the calm before the storm, preparing yourself for the storm, which is 8. The 8th pile is Dear One. So the deer is the first card, the nightingale, and then the fire ants. Dear One, doe a deer, one who hears the songbird transmuting and whispering in their ear to calm you while the fire ants are out causing drama. And here is again Mary Magdalene whispering in Jesus' ear, sleep and I shall soothe you, calm you and anoint you, myrrh for your hot forehead. Oh, don't you know everything's all right? Yes, everything's fine, and it's cool, and the ointment's sweet. So that's coming up again. That came up yesterday too. And then the next few cards were 9, 28, and 25. The Hermit's gifts, and a gift to or from a loving man, with a ring to bring as the Knight of Wands in the circle of trust and abundant energetic exchange. The one that got away, a higher love. 2 as one, and the true north of Gemini energy or twins. The Knight of Cups risking freedom of unity consciousness for Atlas and the wounded warrior inner children. Cutting cords with the 3 faces of Eve and sailing right over the 3 faces of the mountain. The child with the 3 faces and the mothership here. It's the child's face and the mother's ship. In the child star toxic relationship, healing the inner child with unconditional love where time doesn't exist. This is the 8 or the storm. The 9 is the culmination, right? It's the completion. It's the time of peaking out where we then let go of things that no longer serve us. The vulture, the octopus, and the stingray. The end, and I was getting that from Jesus Christ Superstar. The end, and he says it in the Garden of Gethsemane, is just a little harder when brought about by friends. And it goes into, for all you care, this bread could be my body, right? For all you care, this wine could be my blood. Whichever way it goes. Anyway, that's what it goes into. So that energy is coming up now. So this 9th group is coming up as the cleanup crew. The completion, which the Garden of Gethsemane was the completion of the story. it was the night before, right, the end. The need to create loving boundaries with heart, mind, not head. And then plug in to be turned on and activated, ready for a new cycle. During the cleanup, you get to thinking, right? So you're busy cleaning up. It leaves your mind free to think in a very flowing way, which then fully charges the chakra system in order for that new beginning. Then we have the 10th pile at 1144, which is the 11 of justice and the 44 of Atlas, according to numerology in the divine triangle, but also the 44 of, and is it the 44 or 49? I'm not sure because the pen was running out. So something's running out. The ink is running out for the story, okay? So 49 would be the 9 of cups, whereas 44 would be the 5 of cups. So either which way it fits you. The 10th pile here of the elephant, the crow, and the raccoon going into the new cycle. So we have the elephant, right? And there's a flame in their nose. And then I was getting my third eye tuner, my tuning fork. I have put up to my nose before, just instinctually. And here that was coming up specifically to put that your flame is in your nose. So when I used my third eye tuning fork and just put the ends of the tuning fork near my nostrils, I literally was feeling it so much more intensely than putting the other end to my third eye. So you might want to try that if that's something that you use. But the flame in the nose, as the elephant never forgets, stomping through the dark, transmuting as they walk. The crow is standing guard of the collective awakening, as dark energy is being displaced, and the masked raccoon is very much affected by it. The inner masked child, no longer interested in digging through the trash, perhaps to get away with something or find a good deal or a treasure or another's scraps. I was getting the choice here then, and the stars, or the stairs, and the house. And the fool's journey of, which door you choose to open up, or which door you choose to enter in perhaps buying a house or moving. On the fool's journey, choosing whether or not to go home or go straight home, or take the long way or the winding road. And I was getting, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. The family tree, the rainbow bridge, and the rod and staff unions. Change, freedom, and expansion with justice of the divine feminine mother, shaman, cracking the whip to anchor down with family nesting and deliverance. Committed to things looking up with the Knight of Wands coming in with love and being love, with inspiration of the Page of Wands, bridging to the Queen of Cups of the loving lady in the Mary Magdalene, who may feel that the Queen of Cups was hitting the trifecta, someone with gifts and other things, perhaps, in the 3 faces of Eve, the perfect size, perhaps dealing with innocence here, as well as the healthcare industry, and dancing, perhaps, and the dances between the masculine and feminine, the polarities. But regarding healthcare, and perhaps dancing is one way to get better health, and perhaps being able to pinpoint on the journey in what direction to push. And this is coming up as the Mary Magdalene energy, right? It's that someone feels like they hit the jackpot, they hit the trifecta in someone who can be innocent, who can be with gifts, and who maybe deals with healthcare or can dance, whatever the things are that they're seeing in that person. And also that person seeing the Queen of Cups is being able to pinpoint what direction to push themselves in. And the number 20 was coming up here too, with the public parks or public meets, or just doing things in public, or dealing with nature as well. So that was the first message. And then as I started this next message, which was done at 12:55 this afternoon, 12 is the Hanging Man again, and the 55 of the Ace of Swords, Excalibur, the truth. And relieving pain, or pain reliever. Perhaps you took some Motrin or something like that. I noticed some people stopped to talk in front of my house across the street. And one of them I actually knew. And there were 2 others there as well. And they were there for quite a while communing right in front of my house, talking, actually 3 men. And that was very much related to the energy that came up in this next message. The underlying energy was the crocodile again, the first one coming out, the well, the 6 of Pentacles reversed, and change. Swans being 2 as 1, that 2 as 1 love of the 2 of Cups type of energy, and the dragonfly, which is actually the same energy, because the dragonfly is the 2 sticks that come together and they collapse into a heart pulsating as one. And then the lone wolf, who stops to look or stare as the crocodile comes up to them to talk, or laying in wait before they do. Perhaps it was coming up as showing me different personalities of these different energies. Like one might be very friendly, the other one might be more shy, and perhaps the other one's there for a whole different reason, perhaps wanting to get attention from somebody else. Unsure, the third one who's shy may not be sure they want to participate in this conversation. I was also getting the Sophia energy, the doctor energy, the one in woe energy, and the crocodile energy, which can be a lower vibrational energy. And also it can feel like when you have energy around your home, it can feel invasive, especially if you have big windows where they can just look right in if they're standing out there for a while, right? So there's that energy coming up as well. So taking a risk at 106 with the Magician and the Lovers, taking a risk of choosing a door to open on the journey with loving lady presently watching, perhaps out a window, and sending well wishes, or processing their feelings about this or them, and self-love. The Knight of Swords back to work or back to a walk in army pants, gray sweatshirts, glasses, white beard, chuckling as they leave with the truth, or free legal advice in energetic exchange about injustice after a sudden event, or in trying to avoid a disaster and imbalance, inequity, and or debt. Perhaps a man in blue, perhaps more bald, who was on the right, still talking now on the left, or going back to work, or after a death, perhaps a main male, trying to get some information, or to keep themselves occupied so they don't think about it. The twin flame energy was definitely coming up here, and then looking out the window again with expectations of a destined journey and perhaps unexpected income with new passion, or perhaps new knowledge that creates a new passion, and then a change. Perhaps a change of car and getting information about cars, or a change of residence and getting information about that, or just getting professional advice, from someone, a neighbor that you meet. At 115, which is the Magician and the Devil. So do you know who you're talking to? And here's the shadow coming up. And then the crocodile comes up as diving deep, wanting imbalance to change. It's like someone wanting to change the way they've been. But perhaps that's not an easy process for them. And then I was getting the crocodile word broken down into the crow, and then the co, like the co-creation, the co-crows, right? The crows standing guard of the awakening collective in co-creation, and then the crocodile, so dial coming up, or dial up, which was funny because then I was waiting to hear back an email. I got my email back right at that moment. And also the names L and Lee were also coming up here. And the crows were the one crow was yelling at me at that point to let me know that I had received a message, that it came in. And then the whole group of crows chimed in after that at 125, the Magician and the Knight of Wands. They were all talking to each other. So these next cards came up as a couple different groups, but it was like 3 different personalities. So each group of 2 is like one person, or they could represent couples as well. So there's multiple messages that can come in here. We had the otter and the black egg, or the otter in their truth, or waiting for a birth. Perhaps being discerning about what to cut out and what's actually good luck, regarding the High Priestess or the Divine Feminine, and the Devil or codependencies and addictions of the Page of Swords reverse, which may just be bad news, or a devil child, or perhaps really immature conversation or spitefulness or rumors. And bad health, expanding care with unconditional love of orphan child walking away, or perhaps looking back at your childhood and remembering when you ran away. But there's also the energy of Fiddler on the Roof here. Or an illness that takes them back to being a child again. And remember, like your grandparents always seem like they go back to being children again. And again, wanting to run, going back to that feeling of wanting to run away from both the truth and good luck. Like maybe it's too good to be true because that's what you were taught when you were a child. If it's too good to be true, then it's not, right? That was the lesson we were taught when we were young. Then we have the nightingale and the elk as the songbird sings to the otter across the way and egg, with the hothead elk behind them, perhaps steaming up. Maybe they don't like what they said. And that could be two people, communicating back and forth, or a couple and another person communicating back and forth, or two couples communicating back and forth. It also could be doing some clearing as twins, but your twin is also part of the energy work that you do, right? Because you're always working in unison with your twin. So even if you're talking about one person, you're always talking about you and your twin energetically. So the gifts of the hermit coming up here, and inspired by anger issues from the Akashic records, or perhaps the masculine is mad that the feminine is working with other unions or on other people and not them, and not focusing completely on them. And then again, the liver came up, and the joints of anger, that the liver stores anger, and so do the joints. So if you have any pain in your knees or your hips, it may be because of some kind of anger that you need to release. And then the songbird hermit comes up with the gifts or flowers. Perhaps someone making a fool of themselves, or lacking faith, or perhaps fell down because they weren't looking where they were going, they were distracted. Perhaps in front of a house. Or the King of Swords looking at a house for a marriage. Or perhaps hiding behind flowers at a house. So perhaps others don't see you because maybe you don't want to talk right now. While the otter chats with the hummingbird and the elk. Perhaps the otter is inquiring about bad health or healthcare issues, and a few boys taking a walk, reflecting with each other, perhaps reflecting about getting older, or talking about your kids having their own kids. One may be speaking up to be noticed, another may be getting annoyed with them, or the hothead is inspired to crack codes of the King of Swords in their marriage, or professional advice for their home and marriage coming up. So again, the energy also coming up of three innocents, and that can be a child, but they can also be old men, trying to get attention, and I'm losing my voice because someone's not speaking their truth, trying to get attention about health, marriage, or because they're shy, perhaps an empty nester, or wanting attention from someone, but not speaking their truth about it. And you see, I still cannot speak. This was somebody not speaking their truth. I was talking about the masculine energy and going into their innocent child and allowing themselves, like a child would, to make a fool of themselves if needed, to say your truth, just be who you are. What does it matter? Your truth matters. So the lamb and the oyster then come up as vulnerable and all clammed up. Again, the energy of someone who's very shy. Shy, bridging abundance. Through the abundance, not necessarily money, it's coming up here as the energetic exchange between humans. With secret passion, or somebody with no intuition at all, dumping a load, burdens, or responsibilities, or perhaps confessing their load to somebody else, or perhaps confessing a secret passion on their pathway to the family room, or perhaps to someone's door. The Queen of Cups in energetic exchange with the wounded warrior, surrendering to completion, and perhaps an empty house, or perhaps empty nest syndrome. The cobra here is the last card here, watching it all, observing, inspecting, and looking closer at it all, as a part of their work with message of concern, grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love through detail work, and a higher love, sending or receiving messages of concern. At 212, which is the High Priestess and the Hanging Man, which again, that is the Mary Magdalene Jesus energy. At 212 is the High Priestess with the Hanging Man, along with the last group, which is like the peanut gallery, But in this sense, it wasn't. So here's the read regarding these 3 other cards, why they came up after the teacher with all the group of students there, or perhaps their I'm just blanking out. What's the word when you're taking the class but you're not getting credit for it? Oh, it's such simple words. I can never remember anymore. It's terrible. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That's the energy I'm getting. The cheetah, the buffalo, and the horse come up here. And you know, the horse always comes up for me as Mr. Ed. So the cheetah can be a cheater. It's definitely that energy of being ready to pounce, perhaps ready to pounce on the cobra teacher, right? The cobra is when the students are ready, the teacher will come. And here's that. The cobra was the last card after I pulled 3 piles of 2. The cheetah here may be ready to pounce on the teacher when they get a chance, or maybe they don't feel like they've been able to get a word in edgewise. With the cheetah cat, perhaps mesmerized, Buffalo Bill, who's well grounded, and Mr. Ed, and well, you know who that is. Cheetah running out of time for unconditional love, with a falling out in the past, with lover or kids or devilish behavior. The buffalo dancing between the masculine and the feminine, Dr. Jackal and Mrs. Hyde, doctor and patient, teacher and student, perpetrator and victim, the polarities to pinpoint just where it hurts the most, or in other words, the entry wound. The journey of the subconscious and the moon cycles, the buffalo opening up to the divine feminine or the world, and the world or divine feminine is opening up to the past bad memories for lovers to work it out, the adjudication process, with the nightmare before who stole Christmas. So like the nightmare before Christmas, but it's the nightmare who stole Christmas, where Mr. Ed is handling the moon with the Midas touch, the mid-moon romantic notions of needing to swallow their pride to catch a thief, right? The thief who stole their heart in the night. The devil and Mrs. Jones, or Ed, it's the devil and Mrs. Jones, or Ed and the Queen of Wands, in union working it out, or the cheater, or cheetah, and God, or the one who feels that God cheated them, the buffalo in the middle, who's very well grounded and heavenly too, Dr. Jackal and patient J. Ill, working it out in the middle, like the monkey in the middle, to transmute the perpetrator and the savior, the perpetrator thief and the savior lover, the place between, which is the buffalo here, of death and life around the world. So again, the victim in the middle of the perpetrator and the victim is the one who has to do the shift in order to pull the ends in. So let's go ahead and get to the union read now. Okay, union read was at 7:22 last night, which is the Chariot and the Fool's Journey. And this is the 4D5D60. And we had Alchemy as the underlying energy, the 6 of Wands of the Journeyman, which also is getting attention, success, leading the way, all that kind of energy. And the Queen of Wands closes the read. The stomach and intestines energy was coming up again with a higher love, blending and alchemizing and leading the way, one big flame with 5 smaller ones. To the Queen of Wands, who's been doing a lot, perhaps doing too much, and perhaps needing a break right now. I was just getting my mother, I have 5 kids in my family too. So anyway, someone who's kind of like got their hands into everything. The incoming divine feminine here is the moon or Luna with the 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. Patience at night with Cancer and the mid-moon, very calm with the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy, or red, that could be someone's nickname as well, searching at night for a safe harbor from the storm. The 4D here is the 5 of Swords, the 8 of Wands, and the Strength card. The divine masculine actually juggling on the feminine side, stretching and growing with 2 on reserve. The divine masculine breaking through the ring of fire, birthing with a rebel yell, bridging in the circle of trust, side to side and top down perspectives like the apple and the donut of the Taurus, or two perspectives of the same, at night and at dawn, warriors by night, stealing by dawn. The 5D here is the 7 of Wands, 6 of Wands, and 10 of Wands. The Divine Feminine rising above with flame in hand to tango and battle in spiritual war, armed and dangerously loving, as the Divine Masculine, dark to light, with flame in hand as well, seeing the light at the end. Two different passages to the same spot, bridging on the Fool's journey to get to the hero's game, in cell-splitting moment or fire drill at school, all lined up and ready to go. The 6D of the Wheel of Fortune, Karma, and the Starseed, which is the Fool, Karma's judgment, the Divine Feminine destined on Atom's eve to fight a light battle and seal the deal in the collective awakening. The Divine Masculine also had a big white light bomb dropped into his crown, awakening him to who's around. Hiding in the woods with their feelers out, the wounded warrior peeks out and removes their flame to be shaman, or surrendering to the King of Wands and Queen of Wands as the sun rises and sets. Sunrise, sunset, swiftly go the years. Could be siblings here, or a couple. After birthing, very vulnerable state, the wounded warrior is on guard, taking his flame to even out the sides of 4 to 4. The Divine Feminine, her Divine Masculine stretching and growing by leaps and bounds, as seer and warrior, testing to be Adam's apple and summer's eve, or Indian summer, while the Divine Masculine side bursts out to break free, released from dungeons with flame in hand, and dark to light with big light drop and a fresh new start. The bridge here is the energetic exchange on the journey with good news, leading the way to final judgment, destined to flower. And the overall number here is 66 of the Queen of Pentacles. We had from the horizontal pillars 0, 23, and 43, which is source energy, the 23 of the King of Wands, and the 43 of the Three of Cups. And the vertical pillars came out to 0, source, 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, 3, the Empress, 12, the Hanging Man, 14, the Temperance card, 10, again, the Wheel, 8 of the Strength card, 9, the Hermit, and 0 again of source energy. And the messages came up as Source, King of Wands, who is the shaman in this deck, comes together with the Queen of Pentacles. And also high vibe destiny of the Empress, hanging out in higher love, destined to dance with the Hermit, sourcing Queen of Pentacles. And source can also be the space between, like giving them space between them. But the Hermit can also be the Queen of Pentacles there. And Route 66 was also coming up. So walking with Michael by night. This is at 8:39, which is the Strength card or the dance, and the 39 of the Knight of Cups. Walking with Michael by night, tiptoeing through the tulips with Metatron. Abundant at day, lunation of separation, and 8/9 of FL was coming up, which can be the flames, it can be fluid or Florida or whatever you want it to be, but 8/9, right? And the other day, yesterday I think it was, where the masculine was walking away for his 9th cup because the feminine had 9 pentacles, and he was walking away from 8 cups to get his 9th, where the land meets sea. And the King of Wands here, right? He's the master of flames, you know, mastering his passions, where swords and flames work backwards to lessen the damage. So whereas he was looking for the 9th energy of the 9th cup, here he's going backwards, because the flames and swords get worse as they get bigger, right? So the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands are very difficult energies. They're not loving, fun, free energies. So it's like the 8/9 is because he had the 9 wands, and now he's actually taking the burdens off of him. So I started watching, there's a series, I thought it was a movie, but it's a series, The $1 Billion Code, about TerraVision and how they were suing Google because they stole their intellectual property. So that might be coming up for someone. So the read in front of you, which I'm going to turn the light on now, with the Syrian Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 846, the 8 of the dance, manifestation, strength, the 46 of the 6 of cups, the children in the garden, innocent and loving each other. And at 854, the Re of Chalices came up. So Re can be someone's nickname. Re can be a shaman. It is a certain tribe of shaman. And Re you can look up because it has many other meanings as well. But also Chalices came up again after the Re of Chalices. So a lot of heart energy, of emotions. The 854 is the dance of the Page of Swords, the message. And then at 855, the S came up again for Sophia. Say it's soft and it's almost like praying. So it's coming up like Maria Sophia. At 9:06, I completed the read, which is the Hermit and the 6 of the Lovers. And we had the Shadow and the Reason, which is the Emperor. The Shadow's the Devil. And those were the only major arcana here. So we got the, the Emperor and the Devil. I don't know how great that combination is, unless it's just someone in charge who's a Capricorn. That can be as well. The energy before the read was the Tower and Ascension, which is the world. And after the read, Justice came up. We had 1 sword, 3 wands, 2 pentacles, and 3 cups. So a lot of wands and cups here, a lot of movement, passion, and emotion. And 13 and 23, which is the 13 of transition, the Death card, and 23 of the King of Wands. The Page of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups were the main characters here, as well as the Queen of Wands. And before the read, 2 kings came up, the King of Pentacles and King of Swords. We had triple 3s and triple 5s and double 4s. I mean, that was the main numbers for the read. Triple 5s was the most significant, and that came up. That's just the 3rd time that 3 5s came up. And I think 3s, they've been big too. So the triple 5s is major change. It's also the 15 of the Devil, the shadow side. The triple 3s of the Christ vibration, also the 369, and also the 3D, 4D, 5D, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then between that was double 4s, which is the 4 of Cups, mastering and grounding and integrating love, especially receiving it. And 44, like I said before, can also be the Atlas energy of the weight of the world. We also had the number 10 in a lesser sense and 1, showing you that we're transitioning into the new cycle for sure. And dealing with the 3D, 4D, 5D, not so much the 4D bridge, as we are dealing with the 3D and the 5D. And this is really accentuating that, the 4D is just the bridge, that there's a lot of energy in 3D and 5D, and not so much on the bridge as we transition into the new cycle for sure. The code line here was all about patience and manifestation, and Ma was separated off from manifestation. And the code line numbers were 5, 5, which equal 10. So again, the 5's coming up, and the 10, which is that wheel, a turn for the better, and that the new beginning. And also the high vibration of the 1-0 trill, and 0 behind the 1, which is the Magician. So the messages came out like this. So Ma'am or Mother Mary, so a Southern gentleman calling their mother, or a woman, Ma'am, or Mother Mary. Seeing 5, which then brought up the mother. I was one of 5 children. My mother's name was Mary. So it's paralleling the 2 things. So Ma'am or Mother Mary, seeing 5 of freedom, the Hierophant, which is commitment. It's also the old way of doing things, the boys club, religion, a lot of different energies with the Hierophant regarding commitments and control and ways, the old way of doing things, regarding change and expansion as well as freedom. Clearing the union, seeing the key of the 5 o'clock shadow and the Emperor with their reasons, and then the feminine energy of the egg, and that comes up in a more expansive way in the next sentence. So give me a moment for that. But this is all regarding having patience regarding manifestation. So also, besides the Mother and Ma'am or Mother Mary, Emmy is coming up as well. So I don't know when the Emmys are, but for some reason that's coming up. It could be somebody's name as well. And also emceeing, like someone might be emceeing something like the mother or at the Emmys. And 5 wise unions, seeing the key of the number 5. 5 and 5 was very significant here. The shadow reason, or the emperor's shadow, the holy place of offering, the contractions, the egg, the now moment. What causes the pearl right, what the bacteria that gets in the shell, what causes the pearl are all of these things, with patience in mother's show of power, and the festation, or the knife station. So you got to be careful by the knife station. Mom might throw one. So stay clear of the knife station. What comes between the mother and the father, because the emperor and the empress are coming up here, are the kids causing sagging and key shadowing, to flirt, to long, to come to the holy place of offering. And then the egg, the child, the contraction and the water breaks, the woe and the widowing, the misery, and then the now moment, and then a tick or cicada in a small bottle or jar. They're all coming up as those catalysts to what creates the pearl, or those good things in your life. The Page of Swords was the underlying energy here, and beneath the Page of Swords is the King of Pentacles reversed, the King of Swords reversed, the Tower upright, the Four of Swords, and the Ascension card, or the World, upright, with the Page of Swords on top. The King of Pentacles and King of Swords, both reversed, may be freaking out or exploding in a sudden event. Perhaps maybe somebody passed out or had an epiphany or needed a break. Perhaps they were working too hard or worried too hard. The 5D connection around the world and the interface, a globe that came up in the movie A $1 Billion Code. The interface was actually the shape of the world, the globe. Coming up, it's like an inspiration coming up in the now moment. The Page of Swords in a message. Detoxing codependency in a heated exchange. The truth revealed to emotional family, perhaps who tripped up. And that doesn't have to be like a biological family. It can be a friend family or your true family. It's like someone's energy is ahead, but in review. So in going back, they're ahead, but in going back, they're ahead. To stand up for self, destined to be abundant family, business, or community, grounding and integrating and mastering boredom or love, receiving of messages, schooling the golden goose, or divine timing and bridging the tree, or cutting the leaves back, or topping them off. The old man's business now crippled, with dogs confused between the very young and very old, and hitting the books as they're told, or following their bliss and not their parents, or got in trouble at school and now on punishment of studying hard, or angels in heaven, dogs confused about where they went, heaven sent, one wishing they could connect again and bridge the generation gap. And this could be someone looking for a reader because they want to connect to someone who's passed who they loved very much. So we have at 10:55 the Wheel of Fortune and the Truth again, destined to get in trouble for not doing what they're told or for talking too much. The Fool free to leap with flower in their hand and share or settle out and come clean, to get clean or clean up their act or space. Free to or from giving to the poor, or with loyal friend who loves their blockhead just as it is, or just as they are, or letting someone else clean up the mess. So it's being free from certain things that you or they haven't liked to do. A fool in love. And true love. This is a romance of a lifetime, and beneath that, religious factors, which can be any major differences between two people, not just religion. Then we have the uncomfortable energy of being in emotions, or someone who doesn't like to deal with emotions, of the evil empress, perhaps who's flashing, and literally, like flashing their butt out the window. My mother actually, was that my mother? No, my brother, when he was in junior high school, his busload got in trouble for flashing out their bus window. And we always cracked up about that story because my mom's friend did flash as well with the kids. So it was pretty funny. But anyway, someone's flashing their butt at someone. Someone's uncomfortable with dealing with emotions. Of the evil empress here, who's obviously using her feminine wiles to get what she wants. So I don't know how comfortable she is with actually dealing with her true emotions, because if she was comfortable with her own emotions, she probably wouldn't be behaving that way. The evil empress flashing and putting it out there to touch or constantly looking in the mirror at herself is the only way she'll have sex with him. So I was getting like a couple where she's only into her, like, so unless she can see her, she doesn't want to have sex, and that's what I was getting with someone. Or on a sofa or chair, or posing with fruit, or drunk on the floor, or women sleeping with all kinds of men, or just finding any which way to be naked in front of one. So again, this isn't about having sex, it's about getting attention. It doesn't matter which one, as long as they idolize her, and especially in front of the children. Teaching the children how to get a man to do what they want him to do, to service the woman. But they won't dance was coming up for somebody here. And that's funny, because I just saw a wise proverb somewhere. I forget where I was reading it. I don't know if it's Confucius or something else, but saying that a wise man, he's not wise unless he can dance. So there's something about dancing coming up there. So happy ending is 93. Beneath it, spiritual career, which is 78, the 10 of Pentacles. The Hermit with light on release from prison, perhaps a work release, in separation or disappointment with the Knight of Wands reversed player, or falling short on follow-through or energy, or just paralyzed by their passions. After a sudden event or lots of drama, the Emperor's unable to manifest or perform as expected, or maybe he's impotent or caves under pressure, struggling to get back but without the tools and insecure about it, with Virgo upright and Sagittarius reversed, Scorpio reversed, Aries upright, and Gemini or Virgo reversed, or the Emperor who gets his and moves on, right, doesn't care about the female, or a player manipulator here, or seen as such due to their own insecurities. So maybe they're like that because they're so insecure about themselves, they just want to get it over with. And that can be too, right? So manipulating the message here at 11:16, which is Justice and the Tower, or tweaking the program, bored or apathetic, tired of the same old, about coming clean or cleaning up their act, or no more sleazy sex in the chair and a happy ending, and implementing a plan to clean up their act. The Lady of Light and one big lie or divide. And then going forward after this read was the Queen of Cups reversed, who may be sad about a split or divorce with a dependent, or loss of money, power, and independence for themselves, or no sex or no release. And this could be someone like that woman we were just describing. She only cares about the breakup because she's not getting what she requires, right? So receiving big love from the King of Swords reversed out in the cold, manifesting big time. Or after making magic, the King of Swords reverse is pissed off that he's expected to bring big love and release the so-called prisoners from home from their poor misery, always expecting him to perform. Or gymnastics was coming up here too, or stretching, or expecting to be perfect, or expecting a 10, and then Bo Derek was coming up as well at 11:28, which is November. I don't know, I know November's coming up, but I guess because November's around the corner. But I would normally say that 11 is Justice, which is truth and balance, and then the 28 of the choice of path of the Two of Wands, but it's also the twin flames. All right, so anyway, so the gymnastics reference, but also being reference to, expecting others or expecting self to be perfect, that perfect 10. The recent past here is the Page of Pentacles upright, refusing to look back, or frustrated, uninspired by the past, or history of homelessness, or injury and illness, or poor people, or patience with no options but need to be led, in need of peace and the Knight of Wands to save the day, and with their judgment, a decision, announcement, or to tell them about their day of adventure. So it's like the father coming home from work, needing to tell the family who didn't get to go out and adventure today all about their adventure so they can live vicariously through the father who's working. At war with the weak, or Leo kids or pets out of control, or egos out of control, or ego death, with constant arguing with the Queen of Wands and unloving or unappreciative children, the foundation here is the Five of Pentacles upright, in exile of the group, dumping a load, a burden, or all their responsibilities due to weakness or ill health, or near-death experience, or post-death, or clingy Page of Pentacles to the Empress here, or the prize student, and this could be the mother with the child star as well, or the one who kisses up to the Empress, the child who kisses up to the Empress, and this could be a man-child as well, so someone older, but the one with the goods, right? The Empress has what they want. So Virgo upright, Leo reversed, Scorpio reversed, and Taurus upright here. The central energy of the Five of Wands reversed, ending the fight or losing battle. The King of Wands upright and the King of Swords reversed, paying out and over it, or with dependent in retail therapy. The King of Wands and Knight of Wands, which can be father and child, or father and partner, making an announcement as the Hermit sheds light on it. Challenged by the shadow reversed, or detoxing out of control addictions or codependencies, perhaps hoarding or being scroogey, or holding on too tightly to a disconnected relationship, or perhaps a long distance one. On a break or 5D connect, in a losing battle, in separation and keeping a secret about a big offer of love, guarding their self-satisfaction, or perhaps the wizard's arrogance, and the frustrated child without romantic tie, and the magician who's hangry for third-party patient angel from the past, and deception, detoxing the devil, and over it presenting the truth to the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups, who could be children. That could also be someone rushing in to save the day with a loving message. Perhaps someone's presenting the truth in hopes that the response will be that. The now moment here is the Five of Cups reversed. Getting over loss, regret, draining, or being drained, standing up to the crowds, and found a way out, or perhaps found a way in, to co-create or to get out of a job and spend family money perhaps, or workplaces losing money and needing to manifest or figure out something new to manifest. Getting out of a marriage or contract that's in disconnect or at a distance. And then the Sagittarius energy of the drinker or moody potion maker who's aligning with surrender to the light of the Hermit and detoxing uncomfortable emotions of deception, of dumping multiple loads with the Queen of Swords speaking her truth, to the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Cups reversed. The Queen of Wands is upright. Grounding and integrating boring offers, the Page of Cups unable to express their emotions romantically, and the Knight of Pentacles may be offering help to dump emotional attachments, or offering help to EA, like I told you I did the EA Elizabeth April stuff yesterday, but offering help to dump emotional attachments to allowing unwanted advances, especially in front of the children, with the Knight of Swords getting their wish of suffering in silence or dealing with their sister, for the Queen of Cups reversed, getting over heartbreak by telling the truth with loving messages in return, or loving child. Detoxing emotions about deception and telling the truth to the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups children perhaps. And soon here is the Three of Wands reversed, past, and holding on to the world or the divine feminine, hanging out with the King of Pentacles reversed at home or in union, but stuck manifesting and stuck with the King of Cups reversed. The twin flames are seeing themselves here at the 11th hour, literally, it was 11:59, which is justice and the war within, the Five of Swords. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Queen of Cups reversed, as we go into midnight here, with dreams of the Queen of Wands looking the other way, or Aquarius Queen of Wands and the King of Cups reversed, perhaps withholding suddenly their time, money, and effort from the Queen of Wands. Or the Queen of Wands is healing from the King and Queen of Cups, who are both reversed, who are withholding, saving, or playing hardball in an epiphany about the Queen of Wands, who's been looking the other way. Or the Queen of Cups reversed is Aquarius Queen of Wands, and the King of Cups reversed maybe is Scorpio. Paying attention to the red flags here with signs and synchronicities. Finances and career, that your love life is being affected by finances and career. Make the effort, and it is safe for you to love, all came up for the twin flames at 12:04, which is the Hanging Man and the Emperor. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Queen of Wands with the Page of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords upright, and the Emperor reversed with the Queen of Pentacles upright, with issues at work or third party through work, and challenged by being unreasonable, or perhaps the Emperor reversed, manifesting a falling out with lover and or kids. Manifestation and patience came up here, but even more so, make an effort regarding a negative past or past falling out or difficult kids in an all business relationship that has no joy, with the Queen of Swords upright offering the truth to the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, and that can be a legacy as well, are refusing to come together with the Patient Angel or Sagittarius, or this could be a third party or overindulgers between the Ten of Pentacles, family or business, and Patience or Sagittarius. The Queen of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups are not coming together with Justice, Divorce, or Libra implementing a plan. The worst being over now, and the bliss of being silent and keeping to themselves. There's no joy between the Ten of Pentacles and the Patient Angel of the higher love, or one who parties too much and perhaps OD'd, who is now an angel. Home and or union, and bliss with third party through work, and justice of an outpouring of love. And again, that could be condolences if you're dealing with a death, and if that's the case, I'm so sorry for your loss. At 12:25 is the Hanging Man and the 25 of the Knight of Wands. The Page of Swords in exile or message to the Hermit in the cave, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Wands upright with the Page of Pentacles upright in a losing battle, challenged by detoxing the past, with the Emperor reversed, or the one being very unreasonable, getting over loss, regret, guilt, and shame in the past, a third party or overindulgences, and or social distancing at home now that the worst is over, but there's still issues at work with justice, divorce, and or new love. At 12:31, the Hangman and expansion. The Page of Swords is upright and the Page of Pentacles is upright, unable to manifest or get investors perhaps, in exile and in conflict and getting over loss, challenged by detoxing and doing the shadow work. The Queen of Cups reversed is sad about the past, and the Queen of Wands with the Emperor reversed, and no reunion or joy at home, except the bliss of the third party through work, and justice of an outpouring of love at 12:36, which is the Hangman and Atlas energy of the weight of the world. And that's the energy of Jesus. Okay, so that's the messages. And let's pull a quick couple oracle cards. I don't want to do the animal spirit deck because I've been doing a lot. So I'm going to do the energy deck, and maybe we'll pull a Kipper card today. So from the energy deck, how do we wrap this all up? To my guides. What is the final message of the day today? What is the energy we need to know? And that came right up. There's Metatron for you. The sixth chakra, the third eye, the 40 of the innocent child, the child within, who sees all, and they're very powerful. We also have the 38 of the Mary Magdalene energy, that fourth chakra of Archangel Raphael, the healer, and the heart, the healer of the heart, and the healer of the third eye. So it's like the masculine and the feminine. The masculine in his little boy, and the feminine in her Mary Magdalene, right, to take care of the Jesus coming off the cross type of energy, which is really beautiful. All right, so there's your energy. We also have, like, in a more physical sense, right, because that was very angelic energies about the third chakra, the third eye chakra, and the heart chakra. We also have the thinking man and the female on the bridge, on the journey, you know. Okay, so we have the 46 of the children, the inner children, and the 2 of the high priestess, the Mary Magdalene. So it's just kind of reinforcing that same energy in a more 3D way or physical way. And then the bottom energy is the door to spirit. So opening a new door to clear the path, the 32 of the journey. And there's the chariot, the vehicle of ascension. And there may be a community involved here, okay? The community ascension. This can be group meditations as well, right? Clearing, purifying the energy. And let's go to the Kipper deck and see what comes up there. I'm going to pull you a yoga stretch too. Maybe I'll give you a Metatron card too, since Metatron came up. All right, so from the Kipper deck, there's the community again, along with a message, a community message. And there's the inner child, right, with the community or perhaps parents. And there we have the Knight of Cups and the Chariot. Again, the vehicle of ascension is the message. And there we have the mature woman. Okay, and that's the energy of love. Like the divine feminine is the shaman mother from what Cryon was saying. That's the energy that's coming up this week. Okay, so we have the community with the masculine over here, perhaps. And then the feminine on her own over here with family of love. And the Chariot, the vehicle of ascension, is the message between them. And we also have the 76 there, which is the, obviously it's the birth time of the nation, right, was 1776, of being love. But also 76 is the 8 of Pentacles, which is the combination of the two. Because I often get the masculine and the feminine as the 4 of Pentacles each coming together becomes the 8 of Pentacles, right, when they're able to be very creative and co-create. So there's that 76. And the reflection of 76 is the Knight of Pentacles, which is that humble, loyal servant. So it makes a lot of sense that they'd both be related to the masculine and feminine. And then the next card you have is of great fortune, which is the Page of Wands, which is that inspiration that comes with that. And the gift. So really beautiful. There's this 17 of the star and dreams come true, and great fortune in your gifts coming in, and perhaps being gifted by the divine feminine with her gifts. That could be coming up as well. There may be some concern from an older masculine, that's the 33 Christ vibration, regarding the privileged lady, perhaps of the hanging man. This could be the Mary Magdalene energy, or this could be a daughter hanging out. Maybe he's concerned about who his daughter's hanging out with. But either which way, right? Concerned about who that person is or their wisdom. Yeah, see, there's an older man who's definitely worried about who their child's hanging out with, because then we have a younger man thinking about a woman. And there's some kind of court here, so I don't know if someone's like, this is an older man, so this could be a divine masculine older man whose daughter may be getting divorced because someone's cheating or thinking about somebody else, or maybe he's thinking about her, but there's somebody else in the picture. Okay, and so there's a divorce that needs to happen between them. And there's the King of Wands here, as well as the Tower moment, which is sudden events, explosions, epiphanies. He's having an epiphany about somebody, and or a sexual exchange energy there is all coming up for you guys. The bottom of the deck is the Child again. So we have the first card out was the masculine with the community and the feminine on her own, right? The little girl and the little boy. Then the 39, which is the Knight of Cups energy, and the 18 of the subconscious, right? The darkness and the light. The feminine and the masculine, the nothingness and the everythingness that comes together. The 18 is the moon of the subconscious energies, but also it's very romantic. Okay, what was I going to do? I was going to pull you, I want to pull from the Ascension deck too, because Mary Magdalene's been coming up a lot. So let's see what messages you get here. Saint Germain just popped in there and using the violet flame to transmute energy. So just sit yourself in a big violet flame, or maybe put somebody else in a big violet flame. I keep wanting to say violet. Violet? Violet. Is there something? Oh, maybe I'm yelling at myself because I need to file. Maybe some of you guys need to file too. All right, so the Ascension deck here. Pallas Athena, 48 is the walking away within. Pallas Athena is known as the goddess of truth and wisdom. Let me clarify this picture a little bit for you so you can see the words. Okay. She is the Lord of Karma for the 4th ray and holds the sword of truth to show humanity the way. Although she wields her sword for the highest ideals of divine truth, she prefers to use wisdom to settle disputes. Your guidance is to follow her example. See the higher perspective in all areas of conflict. Draw on your abundance of wisdom and tact to communicate with everyone concerned and use the sword of truth to point the divine way forward. The affirmation is, I use the sword of truth to lead the way. So again, it's referencing that same kind of Mary Magdalene energy as, we'll do what we have to do, but we always choose peace first. So that's the main energy coming up here. We have the 12 chakras as well. So we did talk about the chakras a little today. We have the one of the magician here. And following the fall of Atlantis, 5 of our 12 chakras closed. Ascension starts when we once more activate our 12 fifth dimensional chakras. This begins to reconnect the 12 strands of DNA so that we can reclaim our true spiritual and psychic gifts. Your guidance is to ask the unicorns, which came up big today, to touch, open, and activate your Earth Star, your base, sacral, navel, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, causal, soul store, and stellar gateway chakras. Then ask the angels to sing over you so that your chakras vibrate at a fifth dimensional frequency. The affirmation is, I awaken my 12 fifth dimensional chakras. And just so you see the number on the next card was Almoria with 44 again. The grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, but also the Atlas energy. And then these two kind of wanted to be seen too. So Lord Kumika, 42, and Lord Kuthumi, 36 again, which is Atlas in the way of the world. And the 42 of the Two of Cups of coming together. I'll show you those cards if you want to read them. Okay. And Kuthumi. Okay. And was that everything? Oh, I promised you a yoga card to see where you need to stretch. They were giving me very simple stretches this morning. Just back rolls, to do this one. To roll side to side to really just allow your back to waken up in the morning. And they gave me some breathing exercises this morning. Nothing difficult this morning. So let's see what comes up for you guys. Oh, Metatron, I said too. It's okay. All right, and I got this too. So again, try this, because today I was fine doing this, but the other day the first time I pulled this out in a long time, oh boy, were my shoulders sore. So do this. Here's the instructions. Don't hurt yourself. And then we also have this one, the meditation of intent. So you can read that as well. It's just a certain way of meditating. And that's it. So pretty simple to just stretch, be good to yourselves, but perhaps release some stuck energies. And then we were going to pull a Metatron card, and then we'll be set. Yeah, a lot of positive energies, though. A lot of nice messages. It's very much still in that Jesus and Mary Magdalene energies, and the heart and the third eye with Metatron and Raphael coming up to heal. And let's see what else comes up from Metatron here. Okay, these just fell right in my lap. They were kind of awkward. Water, emotional well-being. So you see the dolphin there. And the dolphin for me is, the difference between the dolphin and the porpoise is the fin. And this is references to me because the dolphin is more friendly than the porpoise. Porpoise is more serious, and they have a very straight fin. So there's some friendliness energies coming up here regarding, how to keep your emotional well-being by using water, which has to do with emotions, but also being in water and being friendly. I was just getting the Louvre as well for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, the crystal pyramids are there, or the glass pyramids. Yeah, I'm getting the above as below, but this can insinuate using crystals as well right now, whatever you're gravitating towards. Or maybe put them in water, like if you take a bath, put some crystals in the bath water with you. And there's the pyramid. The next card is a pyramid. The fire, the dragon strength, and the message that the fire, if there's too much fire, it'll burn you out. So again, you need to balance with water and fire here. So emotions and passions. They're calling you to balance those two things here. The dragon and the dolphin. So I wonder why the Louvre is coming up. And the Louvre is coming up because I just posted Mary Magdalene, Jesus' picture from Paris, the Paris Bridge. And they're very much known as being in the south of France after the cross. So there's an energy of France coming up here. I don't know if there's something else going on in France right now. But fire and water. But not burning each. It's like the balancing of fire and water without actually burning out completely, without getting drowned or without getting burned. Right? So the fire could use all the water up so that it's completely gone. You know, up in steam, up in smoke. And then the water could put out the fire. So that would be like, that's like 0 point, that very delicate balance of being at the moment before either one happens. And then we have priorities too of building blocks for life with all of the chakra systems. So I think they've been really pushing the chakra system and focusing on your different chakras to see if anything comes up to clear. 52 is the Queen of Swords, the 19 of the Sun, and the Chariot here. The last card is just the 3 of the Empress and the Flower of life energies, creation of expansion in your life. Right? So here's the delicate balance. Make sure you prioritize. Focus on your chakra systems right now and see what might come up, and then expand when you feel balanced again. And then communicate. The bottom of the deck is the indigo. I've been getting this a lot on the underlying energy. The indigo of mystery and mastery of life. The inner child. The 21 of completion, right? When you have time to just take a moment and reflect about the cycle you just completed and how, you know, how you got there, how you never thought you would get there. And then wishing on a star perhaps about how your next cycle might go. Putting your intentions out there and giving appreciation to all of those who came before you, who led you on this path and got you to this point. So very nice messages today. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest, do what's good for you. Make sure you have a balance of rest and getting up and moving your body around to release energies, and sleep and joy and nature. Make sure you go out and touch the grass for whatever is good for you. It's 5:11 on the clock right now. Of change and freedom and expansion of the Hierophant, and 11 of justice and the Divine Mother Shaman. Breathe, guys. And rise and be loved. I will see you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye, guys.